And welcome back to Primetime Sports. I'm Randy Gardner, and joining us now, Cliff KOONS. Glad you could join us here today on the show.
Morning.
I looked over your resume here that you were telling me, Mr. Universe, Mr. America. I mean, tell me about some of these awards. It's amazing.
I won the Mr. America last year, and the Mr. Universe, 93, and then the overall Masters Mr. Universe also last year. So it took me 20 years to win my first Mr. Universe, 30 years to win my second Mr. Universe, and then 30 years to win the Mr. America. So,
talk to us about when you actually started the whole workout regime to get to where you are today.
Okay, well, actually from 3rd grade to 8th grade, through grade school, I did gymnastics. Then when I went into high school, they didn't have the gymnastics at the school I went to. So my older brother at the time was working out, so I basically was such a little guy and was from a pretty tough school, so I started working out more or less to defend myself than anything. But basically, if I'd say 3rd grade to 8th grade gymnastics, from 14, 44 now with the weights. Yeah.
Now we see some pictures here. If you want to go ahead and hold those up for a second, we can get a good look at some of your awards here and maybe explain exactly what that award is.
Okay, this is from last year when I won the Mr. America, then the overall Masters Mr. Universe. And this is also the same contest. This was just a few minutes afterwards before I ate everything in sight. And this is just a small picture. This is just going back some years. Just wanted to basically show the degree of leanness you have to get to.
Now, through the years, I've seen pictures like this on the front of magazines, but I've never seen anyone actually in person that is ripped like this. How much work does it take and dedication to get to look like this?
Okay, well, because the contests that I get into, they're all drug tested. Okay, so it's all natural. Okay. Everything is in slow motion compared to, say, people that might use drugs. For example, the last contest that I competed in this year, I actually dieted for 9.5 months. People that use different drugs, they'll get ready for a contest in 3 months, but when you don't, everything is in slow motion. You can accomplish anything without the drugs that you can with them. It just takes a lot longer. So basically, I had to monitor everything I ate and my fluid for 9.5 months, which the hard part about that is staying so focused. And it's not so much that it's easy for a person, it's just you just decide, the goal is worth the effort, which it is.
Now, besides diet, a lot of time spent in the gym. Talk to us how much it took you at the beginning to get to where you were. And then you mentioned earlier about you kind of change your workout habits, and it takes a shorter time.
Years ago, I used to train anywhere from 2 to 4 hours a day. I used to train extremely heavy and 3, 4, 5 minutes between sets, extremely heavy. Because at the time, I thought that's what I needed to do. But then when I realized that with the bodybuilding, it's not so much how much weight you lift, because you're not powerlifting or Olympic lifting. What you're doing is you're trying to work the muscle at a level that it's not accustomed to. And then what happens is the body changes into a new body to protect itself. So what I've learned to do, instead of working out for 3, 4 hours at a time, I can take a lighter weight and isolate a specific area of the body. And I would just do, instead of saying do 4 or 5 sets on an exercise, I'll do 8 or 10, but with like a 5-10 second rest in between. So you start out and the weight it's easy for you, but then you do another set and another set. Then eventually that weight becomes heavy and the muscle doesn't realize what it weighs. It's not about the machine you use, it's not about how much weight's on the bar, it's how intense you're making the muscle work. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
I was just, the reason I say that is because it seems like there are a million books out there. Mm-hmm. Everybody has their own ways of doing things,
Okay.
but evidently yours
Okay.
works.
Well,
We know that.
I'm glad you said that, because so many people, they want a quick fix, and it doesn't exist. Especially we Americans, we want everything yesterday. But the truth is, there are scientific facts, just like everything. And the key is for a person that wants to get in shape is to become honest with themselves, completely honest. You can't sugarcoat, I'm chunky, I'm this or that. You have to just be honest with yourself. And then you have to, like anything, you have to go out and learn the actual scientific facts. And once you know these, then you just set a goal, break it up into small parts, create a plan, and you have to stay with the goal or the plan no matter what, even when, and it will, even when your mind plays tricks on you. A lot of times people say, well, my instinct is telling me to do this, my mind is telling me to do this. Well, don't listen to it. It's kind of like if you imagine like a pilot where their instinct, I'm sure, may tell them it should go this direction, but they have to go with the instruments. So you have to go with the facts, and you have to learn them. And most people, I guess it's difficult. They just, it's just difficult.
Now, as far as working out certain muscles, certain days, is a workout program scheduled around, doing a set of muscles every other day? Should you lift every day?
Okay. That depends on what level the person's at. For example, if somebody comes in off the street, comes into the gym, and they want to start training, they're going from no workouts to, say they just do one set of an exercise for each part of their body. Okay, that is a higher workload than their body's used to. So what happens is it will change to protect itself and adapt to that workload. Once the body adapts to that workload, you have to increase the workload in order for it to adapt again. So the longer you do that, increase the workload, adapt, the greater amount of work your body can do. And what happens after a while is, if you did the whole body in one day, your volume would be so great you couldn't do it all. So that's when you have to break it up and then work out more often. So for example, someone like myself, I've been doing it for close to 31 years. So I keep going to levels, the workload gets so great you can't possibly do it in one day. The problem that most people, weight trainers, have is they want to skip workloads and skip phases, go from A to Z, and it just doesn't work like that. You can't force the body to go faster than it wants to. You just can't. You can't go from 3rd grade to 8th grade. It just won't work.
Now, one thing that I really noticed that you said is be realistic. Back in college, playing college soccer, I was ripped. Six-pack, everything. Now, 15 years removed from that, I'm trying to get back into shape, but I guess I have to be realistic. I'm not going to be at that level I was when I was 20.
I'm glad you said it. Now, it's not so much about being realistic, I'm saying being honest with yourself. The truth is, it's not so much the limit on the body as it is on the person's mind. I trained a fellow get ready for the Air Force. He was going to work with the Navy SEAL people, and he was telling me that the boot camp that they had for those guys, they literally worked out from, say, 3:45 in the morning till 7 in the evening. Literally. He said that you couldn't possibly do it unless somebody made you do it. And what I'm getting at is that taught me that the human body can withstand much more than we think. The limitation is our mind. I tend to believe that nothing is impossible if you have the instructions and the discipline to accomplish it. But if you don't have the instructions, you have to go and find it. But like I said, it's like I say, nothing good it comes easy, and it's true.
What about cardiovascular workouts along with a muscle workout? Does it hurt each other?
Well, actually, it's funny you say that because